Hi everyone, it's Tina. Welcome back to my channel where I ask you to picture what financial freedom looks like to you and we talk about ways to get there. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button so that I can grow this YouTube family, and if you're coming back, thank you very much. I appreciate it. A conversation that my husband and I have had multiple times and that seems to surface with other people on occasion is whether or not it makes the most sense to pay off your rental property and be mortgage free on it, or whether or not it makes more sense to keep it leveraged with a mortgage or some type of loan and then let the tenants essentially pay the mortgage or the loan payment for you. In a prior video, you know that we were sent back to baby step 2 by Dave Ramsey, and for that reason, we paid our rental property off in full. But it wasn't without us first having some conversations over what did we really want to do and what made the most sense for us. There's really two streams of thought on this that I'm aware of. The first is that you use leverage or other people's money, in other words, mortgages and loans, to acquire rental properties, and then you have the tenants essentially pay that payment and then hopefully also cash flow positive, meaning that the rent that they pay is enough to cover the mortgage, any CapEx, that schedule expenses that you have figured out, any taxes that you might have to pay on it, and then also have enough money left over to get some extra money in your pocket that you can then save toward another rental property or just have as passive income for your household. In doing this, you could feasibly use other people's money, meaning the bank's money, to get a lot of different properties more quickly. The goal here would be to have as many transactions, as many business deals as you can, because the more business deals that you have, yes, it would be the more debt that you have, but also you would be cash flowing more money. So even though your debt would be growing over here, you would imagine that your cash flow would be growing over here, not obviously at the same level as the debt because you're leveraged, but over time, you would see the cash flow increase as the debt decreases because eventually the tenants would pay off the mortgages and then you would be, all the cash flow would be yours, minus whatever Uncle Sam wants to take. So this is the idea behind it, is that you make a lot of transactions now. Over time, the risk of the mortgage goes away and you're not even really paying for that. Alternatively, you could say that you also make money by letting the tenants pay off the mortgage in the sense that you build equity, and then you can make money by selling that property. And so money that wasn't yours, because it was the tenant's money and the bank's money, got the property for you, and then you sell it and make a profit through, capital increase or however that property might have appreciated over time in conjunction with whatever was paid off on the mortgage. This is pretty appealing, right? It's this idea of using other people's money to make you money. Now, this is why my husband and I really talked about it, because you could, in some sense, mitigate the risk of that by having a lot of property, so that if any one property is ever not rented out, you are still making money on these other properties that would help cover the mortgage payment. But you would absolutely still need to probably have a job such that you could make whatever is vacant, the payments on those loans, assuming that your other properties, the whatever's cash flow positive out of those, doesn't cover that mortgage payment. Now, what people don't talk about when they talk about this, they talk about, how great it would be that you would have other people's money making you rich. But the difficulty lies in the fact that you have no control over the bank and you have no control over those tenants. You have no control if one of them goes haywire and decides to just completely rip out all your drywall. You have no control over whether or not the bank sells your loans, and then the new bank doesn't have a relationship with you and says, whoa, look at how this person's leveraged to the hilt. I want to call these loans in, and then you have to sell those properties, assuming you can sell them quickly, to pay back the debt that you have on them. There is a lot of uncertainty and risk and lack of control that goes into that model of making money in real estate investing. On the flip side, you could pay off your rental properties. Therefore, you don't really have to worry about the bank aspect of that. And you don't have to worry about if there's vacancies, how are you going to cover the mortgage payment? By paying it off, you essentially reduce your risk significantly. And that's what my husband and I chose to do. we're just a really conservative, risk averse household. And when it comes to getting rich, we are the tortoise and not the hare. We will take the slow and steady conservative route every time, and it's working for us. So maybe we won't get screaming wealthy very quickly, but we will get there in time, and we'll do it in a way where we're less likely to lose what we've currently achieved. Now, for us, we still run the risk of having tenants that choose to go haywire and rip the drywall out. We cover that by having an emergency fund. We have personal emergency funds for our household. We have an emergency fund for our rental property as well. The first year of income from that rental property, once the mortgage was paid off, we already agreed would become the emergency fund for our business account. And then above and beyond that, we will start looking at how can we take income to buy other properties. So in other words, let the business grow itself. Now, if we only took our rental income and used that to buy our next rental property, it would take forever. I want to say in the course of a year, we will be cash flow positive, what we can save about $15,000 after we pay taxes. $15,000 is not a tremendous amount of money when you think about buying another rental property. So of course we're taking some of our personal income, we're saving that up so that we can then get another rental property. And our hope really is to have maybe like 5 or 6 duplexes in time so that we have 10 to 12 different units that are giving us income so that we can hopefully walk away from our corporate jobs or our day jobs at some point and live that dream that my husband had when he was a 23-year-old renting from that old man. He wants to be that old man. He wants to be that, 55-year-old who, 55 is not an old man, but back when that happened, we thought he was an old man because, we were 20-something know-nothings. But we want to be that person, and we want to early retire from our day jobs by living off of the income from our investment properties. My husband and I really want to make sure that we do it in the most risk-averse way possible because there's so many things outside of your control, like market fluctuations and recessions and just politics even, people moving, cities growing, cities dying. So for us, it really was important that we make sure that those things that could be risky, like a bank calling your mortgage loans, we wanted to alleviate those ones because we felt like that's something that we could have some control over. So why introduce the extra risk? Now, because this is the slower, steadier path, I'll be honest with you, it can be difficult. We were having a conversation with my brother-in-law who's a contractor. He's doing some work for another family in the neighborhood. He's actually working on one of their investment properties right now. And it's my understanding that they are doing the leverage way of doing it. They are leveraging themselves to get these properties up and running, and then they're going to have more tenants than us. They're going to have more business deals getting worked. And it does, I'll be candid, it makes the competitive spirit in me come out. It makes me think, are we doing it the right way? Maybe we should do that too. But I keep coming back to this idea of all it takes is one nasty hiccup. All it takes is one layoff and you can't cover the loan when you're in a situation where there's vacancy. If you don't have a sufficient emergency fund, if you have significant damage that isn't covered by your property insurance, it's just a gamble, and it's a gamble I'm unwilling to take. But I know a lot of people feel differently about it. I've been to the seminars where they would encourage you even to buy properties on credit cards if you can do a flip. And it shocks me to the core what some people will do, because I feel that most people can't see it through to completion and then they're in a dire strait. And I don't ever want to be in that particular situation myself. So let me know what you think about this. I'll be honest, I'm pretty firm in my opinion now, but I waffled for a long time. So I'd be very interested to hear how you all feel about it. Be sure to comment, like, and share. And I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend. Bye.